unmuted, as Kyle Dudenberg puts out. Hopefully you can hear me now. Let's give that whole spiel one more time for you. Thank you so much for tuning in at rotostreetjournal.com. We breed and feed fantasy wolves. I'm here for your week 10 ranking rundown. Going to be talking about who to start, who to sit, all that good stuff, but just wanted to pump out that we will be releasing a bunch of sits, strength of schedule stuff coming up this week. Playoff focused. If you're looking to go week 16, 14 through 16, rest of season, if you're in win now mode, I'm doing the running back speech today, so we can help you with trades. That we're going to be doing a big bonanza show tomorrow. Buy low, sell high, all that good stuff. And what schedules to target, but we'll also be releasing those articles throughout the week. So check that out too. This show will be focused more on the week 10 rankings, as it always is, getting your lineup set as we make this huge playoff push, Wolfpack. If you don't mind giving this a thumbs up, regardless of where you're at, YouTube, Periscope, Facebook, means the world. It's great to help us get discovered. And thanks again so much for coming here live. I'll be cutting it right around 8:25 or so. I got to get onto another guest show. But again, just wanted to pump that stuff coming. Now let us get to your rankings. I'm going to share my application window here with you. And as you guys are saying in here, some questions as that's coming up. Do I trade Zeke, Tyreek, and Hollywood for Kamara, AJB, and Judy? I would definitely go for that. I would rather have Kamara, Brown, and Judy. So I don't know which side you're on, but give me the Kamara, AJB side. Zeke is trash. Hollywood, I can't trust Kevin Ford. Tyreek, one of the best players at the wide receiver position, but Kamara is the best player in that deal. AJ Brown, I like more than Hollywood and probably more than Zeke. You get Judy tossed in there too, who might be at Hollywood's level, if not higher. I'm a big fan. I want the Kamara, AJB, Judy side. Is where I'm looking for. So I don't know which side you are on. What's going on, Mitch Chavez? Tunes, thank you for the heads up. I appreciate it. And yes, I will be giving you guys trade help, but especially tomorrow, Brody. Let's jump now into our week 10 quarterback rankings, folks. As always, I like to look at the strength of schedule, who is the best matchups to capitalize upon. We'll filter this by fantasy points. The Falcons, Seahawks, Jets, obviously crazy easy matchups. Jacksonville, Cowboys, Buffalo Bills, Chargers. So we'll bounce back and forth between this. Also, your matchups to avoid: the Packers, the Steelers, Patriots, Rams, Colts. Some tougher matchups. Let us now, though, jump into the rankings. And again, get your questions in. I will answer as many as I can before I have to sign off. Going live with Fantasy Typhoon later, joining his show. Excited to jump on and do some guest appearances here. Tune on in if you can. So I'm going to cut this tier here. I have no reason to not put Kylie Murray at the top. I mean, just a weekly monster. He is what Lamar was last year. That prediction's turning out quite well. Then you got Aaron Rodgers against Jacksonville. The only risk there is, do they keep the air under the ball? But that's a just smash spot. I like Josh Allen. I think a shootout between him and Murray is in the making. So Russ takes a little bit of a hit. But how far down can you have Russell Wilson in your rankings? I mean, I can't really have Josh Allen above him, even if I like that Arizona script. I would say Herbert above Watson, even though, and this would kind of be where I cut this off, is the big four here. Herbert against Miami, though, great smash spot. The dude's top 5 every single week with how he's going. Watson at Cleveland, not a bad matchup at all. They're one of the most generous teams to wide receivers in terms of quarterback points allowed, right in the kind of middle of the pack. But nothing too scary there. The Dolphins look lower on this list, but we just saw what Kyler Murray did to him. I think that those rookies have a good shot at going back and forth. After that, Lamar Jackson at New England, that defense is not even close to what it was, the Patriots. So I think that's like a nice tier here. I do like Wentz was such fucking crap the last time he was out. I think Goff, in a shootout game at home, honestly might be more streamable than any of these other guys. Brady's going to be fired up, though, to bounce back. So I might have Goff just below him. I mean, Big Ben against Cincy, should it go, is a good matchup. I'm nervous about Wentz after that dud against the freaking Cowboys. All those turnovers. Tannehill at Indy, good defense, but not one I'm like shaking in my boots against. I would say, though, the quarterback pool is quite thin this coming week. Mayfield is in streaming contention at Houston, abysmal on the secondary. I like Tua, though. I think Tua could, 21 fantasy points last week, 20 for 28, some rushing upside shown as well. Burrow, sure, Pittsburgh's tough, but they're going to put up points. We do have to just point out Big Ben is going to be a risk for this week because he's in COVID protocol. Was not the one to have it, but was a close contact. So that is just something of note, something to make sure you are tracking as the week goes. Drew Lock has been a beast these last few weeks, so I'm going to bump him up. I think number 4 in quarterback scoring last week, maybe even higher, over 30 DraftKings points. I do know that. Now it's starting to get ugly. I would put I know Tampa Bay is a solid D, but we just saw them get eviscerated. I think they're one of the more overrated secondaries, to be honest. So yeah, I guess I'm a little lower on Baker. He does get his boy Austin Hooper back. So we get down here is Stafford above Daniel Jones. I don't trust Danny Jones. Derek Carr has been like serviceable but low upside. So I'll cut this tier right here. And then any streamers of interest? Not really. I think Phillip Rivers, we've seen him throw 380 yards. Tennessee's defense is a joke. So I could put him maybe in this QB2 range. He gets some Thursday night action as well. I'd bump Mullins against a soft secondary. Like, not Jake Luton. He had that one bomb throw, but let's not get ahead of ourselves here, folks. We'll get rid of the nobodies. This seems about right for now for quarterbacks. So let's move on to running backs, but let's get to your questions as we go here. As Mitch says, awesome stuff to come. That strength of schedule stuff I think will be really, really helpful. Whether you're heading to the playoffs already, you're 7-2, 8-1, maybe 9-0. If you're 9-0, comment in and let us know. If you want to look ahead, we'll cover that. If you're in win now mode, we'll cover the easy schedules coming up. Tomorrow night, me and the Truth Baby. Should be a good show. My main man, Wolf, says Omar, best in the biz. Sorry about AB. I know you were pumped, but they got boat raced. That should have been, when they get boat raced, should have been the moment that AB goes crazy, right? I was pumped, but I'm not jumping ship. It didn't get me the win, unfortunately. My main struggle playing freaking Curtis Samuel on the bench. Henry Ruggs, what a bag of shit. Ugh, disgusting. But all good, Omar. You're my main man, and I appreciate you tuning in. All the usuals here we got. K Cool Whip, great to see you. Would you drop Jonnu for Hooper? I also have Goddard. Oh, and Jonnu did score last week. Still like him, but I do like Hooper. I think I'd rather have the two guys you have, but it's close. If you're sick of Jonnu's shit, it's justifiable. I think Hooper might have a highly weekly ceiling, to be completely honest with you. Mitch Chavez, Ayuk, Juju, Godwin, M. Williams. Choose 2 this week. We'll get to receivers in a little bit. Off the top of my head, I mean, one we got to see is Big Ben playing, because obviously Juju is an easy bench. If not, so let's move ahead thinking he is. I would probably go with the name value of Juju and Godwin. Ayuk, let's see if he's ready to rock. We saw with that Richie James role, which would have been Ayuk. Man, it's juicy. So we'll see when we get there to the rankings. But gut call right now, Juju Godwin. My Chubb and Cooper for Brody Roberts, a trade. For Julio and Jonathan Taylor. I hate Jonathan Taylor. His schedule is a joke. We'll cover that tomorrow. I still don't think I want any part of that. I like getting the Julio over Cooper upgrade, but I don't know if I want to release Chubb right now. Fresh off, back, smash spot against Houston this week. It's not a clear win for me. And Brody, if it's not a clear win, I don't typically take it. Chubb and Julio is about a wash. So then Cooper for Jonathan Taylor, it's like shit for shit almost at that point. So I don't think I love that one, Brody. I would hope for something better. I like the idea of getting Julio, but Taylor's not my radar right now anymore. Judy or Parker, rest of year. I'm going to lean Judy, I think. We haven't really seen Parker. 2 games with Tua have not been promising. He did lose. Preston Williams is not there anymore, so higher target share coming for him, Kevin. But I'm leaning Judy. He's just been so good all year. Schedule does stiffen up down in the playoffs, but to get there, you got to make the dance. He's got a nice, easy, tasty schedule these next few weeks. Charlie, how do you rank Zeke and Gibson versus Chubb, CH, Gurley rest of the season? Contemplating trades, need to win now for playoffs. And again, we're going to do our trade show tomorrow. So I'll answer your trade questions. I'm going to rip through the rankings as fast as I can because, again, I got to sign off in about 25 minutes. If I don't get your trade questions, guys, I promised I'll hit them all tomorrow with the truth. We'll be live for our Wednesday. We're looking at all the strength of schedule stuff. But just to preview it, Zeke's rest of season schedule is the worst in the league. 32nd. Playoff schedule, worst in the league. I don't see why the situation gets better. It could only be getting worse, to be honest. Pollard looks more explosive right now. Lost season. I don't know. I don't think – I'm not looking for Zeke at all right here. I'd rather have Chubb on that list. I'd rather have Gibson and Hilaire. Gurley's, consistent. His running back schedule also blows. Need to win now and for playoffs. Try not to panic on Zeke. I'm not into Zeke. I would be kind of panicking, to be honest. I'd get what I can for him at this point. Let's get now to the running back rankings, though, guys. And again, I promise I will hit everything tomorrow if I can't get to you today because I got a guest spot that I'm doing, which is awesome. I've had some great guests on my shows. I want to pay it forward and hit other people who are rising and grinding just like me over here. So I'm excited to do that. And I want to make sure I get this in for the Wolfpack, though. So keep the questions coming in. I promise I will hit them tomorrow at worst case. So for this week, Dalvin Cook, it makes sense, almost a no-brainer. But honestly, this is an Aaron Jones, 50-point week. You know what I mean? Jacksonville, second most points. I think to running backs, top 5 points allowed at least. Let's go to running backs and just double-check that for you guys and see what we're looking at for points per game allowed. So you got Lions now at the most. Green Bay Packers not far behind. Texans, a joke. Nick Chubb this week going to steamroll them. Raiders, Panthers. So Jags, right there at 6. So this is an Aaron Jones blow-up spot. And it's not like the matchup's that bad for Dalvin Cook. Chicago's nothing too crazy. But it is tougher. And Kamara, too, the least points allowed to running backs, San Fran. James Robinson getting the number 2 matchup of the week. He should roll. Connor against Cincy's a nice spot. Indy and Henry's doesn't seem great, but that's just Henry should steamroll. So there's not much I'm disagreeing with here. I do think I like Chubb a little bit more in his comeback game, maybe even more than Henry. That's a risk, but I like Sanders in his mash. Buffalo, Chase Edmonds, disappointing day in his debut. Just like the Cardinals running back situation, kind of hell. I'd rather have Antonio Gibson for this week. Kareem Hunt. It's going to be interesting to see how those running backs are used. Now, Chubb might get bumped down if it's they're going to ease him in, soft workload. And Hunt would be right in this tier because Houston, again, the most rushing yards allowed in the year, great matchup. So these ranks must be assuming Christian McCaffrey's out. He's day-to-day. I'm not going to take that leap. Assuming he is out, where would Mike Davis be? I would say right here, 10. So let's rank it as if CMC's out. If he plays, he'll be right here in the top 4. No doubt about it. Let's see him get ruled out first. This is getting pretty ugly already at running back, as you guys can kind of see here. David Johnson is probably not going to play as compared to CMC. He seems more questionable. So let's rank Duke Johnson as if he's the starter, in which case you can find him certainly above Krispy Kreme's Montgomery. I think you're getting a Gio Bernard type of effort out of him, top 15 maybe. I saw Mixon down here, though. He's got to be in this RB1 tier. He was seeing workhorse elite volume before going down. Chris Carson, too, not the easiest of matchups, but that doesn't really matter when you're on the Seahawks. You're just falling into the end zone. Daryl Henderson, I don't see the love for Fournette right now. I don't get that. I never get the love for Montgomery, so let's keep him moving down the list where he belongs. Mckinnon looking like the guy, tough matchup, but more receiving back anyways. So I dig him this week. Zach Moss against Arizona. Not the hardest of rundies. I'll tell you who won't be in there is Jonathan Taylor. Should not belong in any type of starting fucking lineup. Bag of shit. Mckissick. 14 freaking targets this week. Second most in the league behind only Tyreek Hill. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Again, Carolina, a soft matchup for the Bucs, but how can those backs be ranked in the top 20 running backs? It's number 16 for Fournette. Is Rodgers hurt? Like, what am I missing there? You got the Broncos in a smash spot, so I think Gordon's a good bet to find the end zone. I wouldn't bench Gordon for McKissick, so let's tune down that a little bit. But at this Gordon, 18 yards last week, didn't do shit. So let's get McCaffrey out, assuming he's not playing. But of course, we'll slide him on in should he be cleared. I'm looking down here. I'm not seeing much at all that I really like. I like Kalen Ballage more than this. I'm going to get rid of Taylor. Let's keep him moving down. How could you trust Taylor in your starting lineup after he's been outsnapped and outtouched by Jordan Wilkins for 2 straight weeks? So if I'm going to have Taylor up there, Wilkins should be just as high. The matchup against Tennessee is light, bottom 10 against the run. But what's weird, what's going on with that situation? They're saying like the running backs coach, like Reich calls the first 8 plays, and then they just they defer to the running back coach. Well, Taylor touched the ball 6 times in 8 plays and looked pretty damn good. And then the running backs coach just benches him. So for whatever reason, he's got a hard on for Jordan Wilkins, and it's ruining any type of consistent value. I like the Gus Bus. He's the type of running back that's going to just smash the Patriots. Physical, hard runner. And I mean, Howard a bet to find the end zone, so bump him up over like a James White. Devin Singletary, what a nightmare he is, huh? I'm looking down here. I'm really not seeing much. I think Jamal Williams against Jacksonville could get some burn because they get up early, so bump him up a little bit. But yeah, in terms of streamers at running back, it's not a great week for that. I think Kalen Ballage would probably be one of the top plays. Duke Johnson, of course, the best streamer of the week for running back, assuming David Johnson misses the game. And then, Wilkins. Ugh. Of course, Mckissick also on your waiver wires. Very streamable too. This seems about right for running backs. I'll go through and obviously clean up these ones later. Let's get to wide receivers. Got about 17 to 20 minutes till I'm heading out here, folks. Let me get my man Timmy Gray here, long-term Tom fan here. My man. So I'm going to have to drop one of my receivers, Shepard, Ayuk, or E. Sanders. That's tough. I'd probably drop Shepard, just the worst quarterback. Ayuk's got Mullins, but that offense as a whole, Giants, I'm not looking to keep pieces from there. Will Eckler be relevant when he comes back? Asked Tunes. Will the backfield remain a shit show? I feel like Eckler has to be relevant. That's because the backfield is such a shit show. They need that steadying force. It's just a matter of when's he coming back. When will we see him again? The world doesn't know. Also, have another offer that would be my Goff and Chubb for Watts and Fuller. Play half PPR. I like your Goff and Chubb better. 2 QB makes it decent, like for sure. But Watson has a very tough schedule after these next couple easy ones. One of the hardest in the playoffs too. I don't want to get rid of Chubb, Brody. You keep offering these deals with Chubb. I like to see what he does the rest of the season. And I see you agree about the Taylor take. He's just disgusting. When's it going to happen? The schedule's a joke, but when's it going to happen? Matt Ryan on bye. I picked up Rivers, but I'm feeling uneasy. Teddy B is also available. I'm going to have Teddy B higher, Omar. That offense can really shoot it out. So I'm a fan of that one. Great show. Would you start? Thank you, Marco. Good to see you. Either Rager or Ayuk. Let's get to the wide receivers and find out. I'm ultimately leaning Ayuk right now off the gut, but we shall see. What's good, Wolf? Should I trade my T. Higgins for James Conner? Yeah, other running backs, Zeke, Gall. Yeah, especially with those other running backs and those other receivers. You're stacked 909. So I think it makes sense. I would pull that trigger, even in most cases. But yeah, definitely here. I'll get two more because I see Billy Jiggs, and it was his birthday a month ago, but belated birthday present for you, Billy Jiggs. Start Goff over Tua. Have Mahomes on bye. I would. The Seahawks matchup is pure cake. You're the man. Much appreciated as always. Well, you're the man for tuning in. Thank you, Charlie. And Billy Jiggs, the last question that came on in. I will get to the wide receivers. Thoughts on Todd Gurley rest of the season? Have a trade offer involving giving up Lockett for him. Plenty of wide receiver options on my team, and running backs are Zeke, D. Harris, and Moss. I mean, your running backs are gross. Your team need might determine that, but Gurley's not a guy I'm targeting. In fact, we'll talk about him tomorrow. The strength of schedule, he's got the third worst schedule moving forward. And 6 most fantasy points on the back of volume and on the back of easy matchups. And the easy matchups won't be there anymore. There's some weeks where he's like nothing if he doesn't score a touchdown. So as steady as he's been and your team need, you ultimately might have to. And Lockett's been pretty inconsistent, so I get it. But Gurley's one of my sell highs. And I feel like you'd be buying high for Lockett. I would try to be seeing if there's other guys available. Billy Jiggs. All righty, on to the wide receivers, folks. I mean, no question about the number one here in his own tier. Devontae Adams, just ridiculous. Ridiculous, man. I think Keenan Allen against that the slot corners of Miami are one of the lowest graded. I don't know if they'll move Xavier Howard in there. But he's in a great spot. DK is going to get the Ramsey treatment. Now, that doesn't mean he can't handle the Ramsey treatment, but it should be worth noting. You got to at least pay attention to it. I love Terry against I can only put DK so low, but I do love Terry here. And maybe, just maybe, they'll put Ramsey on Lockett, but Lockett seems more in line to blow up here. I do think Allen Robinson complete smash spot against Minnesota. Those corners, there's no one on that team that can handle him. Will Fuller against Cleveland as well. The third most points to wide receivers. Sign me on up. AJ Brown, I mean, how can these guys not be top 10? Just getting it done. I do love my Seahawks, the Rams rather, against the Seahawks this week. Going to bump those guys up right about there. And my Cooper Kupp, my man, right about here. Cook's in that same matchup as Fuller is also in a juicy spot. I like this. Cook's been just out of this world lately. We'll put him with the wide receiver twos. It seems disrespectful to Robbie to have him this low, but the way Curtis Samuel's playing, Robbie took a backseat target-wise last week. Thielen, I don't know that I love. The volume's not great. The matchup's even worse. DJ Chark's going to depend a lot on the status of Jair Alexander, one of the biggest lockdowns in the league. So we'll have to wait and see. He's in concussion protocol right now. So that's a wait and see for sure. I think Deontay just steady. I love Claypool, but they're right neck and neck in my opinion. Then you got your Bucks, which is like, what the fuck's happening there? Ugh. This is where the wide receiver decisions start to get trickier, folks. Tell you who I'm not into. That's DJ Moore. Why are we ranking him above Curtis Samuel? Don't get that one. I get the Pitt matchup tough, but Juju's got to be, the way he's balling out, he should be right up there with these other Steelers too. It's just like, which one's it going to be? Maybe all of them. And again, we also have to watch Big Ben because these guys would be in for a big drop should he not play. But I think Boyd, the matchup isn't as hard as people make it out to be against the Steelers this year. Which means, like, where's T. Higgins? Yeah, 39? Come on. I think Mike Williams is going to get the Xavier Howard treatment on the outside, so I'm going to be a little lower on him this week. As I said, I'm bumping up Curtis. The third down monster. Has 14 first downs on the year compared to 15 for Anderson and Moore combined. Fulgham as well. Might get Bradbury, but he's got to be right in his top, like, high-end wide receiver twos at this point, the way he's been absolutely feasting. Patrick, undervalued. I wish I could have Antonio Brown higher, but I don't feel great. Same with Marquis Brown. Wish I could have him higher. Let's see about Jacoby Myers. Tough matchup against Baltimore, but he is the engine right now. I feel like I'd rather have Curtis Samuel, but it's not by a ton by any means. Let's add in this tier. Yeah, sad to see Antonio Brown kind of fall out. Where's Ayuk? Okay, here he is. I like Ayuk. I don't get why Slayton would be above Sterling Shepard. Let's get Slayton down here. Shepard's the number one there. Mooney could go deep against that team. I do like me some John Brown. I would have him above AB. This could also be the week they really get AB going, though, just to, force feeding him. I mean, Debo, should he play, would be above DJ shit-ass Moore. Marquis Brown. Oh, we'll see if Gilmore plays or not, because if not, that'd be the week this guy goes deep. And even if so, he might too. I'll put Marquis up a little bit. All righty. Any other? I think Rager needs a bump up. Right into this range. Manny Sanders disrespected. All the dude does is ball. And I mean, Henry Ruggs, what is his ass doing up here? I never want to see him fucking again. So these are like my last of the last startable guys. I'm getting him the fuck off that radar. Which will, of course, mean the week that he just goes crazy. Any other last guys for wide receiver? I think Aguilar. Why is he down this low? Touchdown in 4 of the last 5. I think Davis rebounds. Yeah, that was a dud. It was hideous, but I still like Davis. Well, I guess I don't mind Davis when I used to want to murder his ass. I think Preston Williams got carted off. He's not going to be playing this week. Yeah, that's about it. So let's get to tight ends, and then I got to head out Wolfpack. Again, doing a guest spot. You can come and ask me any questions with the Fantasy Typhoon. Excited to jump on with him. Just sent me the link, so I will be getting over there shortly, but I want to get you guys your tight end. So no Kelsey this week means Darren Waller at the top of everything. All righty. Hawkinson, Gronk. I love Hawkinson too. I think he belongs in this tier with Waller as like the top tight ends of the week. I think Noah Fant, like those Iowa boys, maybe a step below, but no Alberto, which is a 5 end zone targets the last 4 weeks. Like that's not unsubstantial. Let me just check real quick. I know the Falcons aren't playing, and they're the most generous to tight ends, but I don't know tight ends that well off the top of my head. So let's take a quick peek here. Bengals generous. Okay, so that's Ebron this week, so he should get a nice little bump scoring. Jags horrible, so Tunyon gets a little bump up. Okay, Bills not very good against tight ends. They get your Cardinals, so nobody there. Eagles versus Giants. Evan Ingram a little bump maybe. He's been getting his shit together. Football team with Hawkinson, great spot. Saints surprisingly improving against the tight end after they had that rough start. Carolina, Ian Thomas won't matter anyways. Chargers pretty generous. Miami, Mckissick, okay. So there's some names that we can look at here this week. I'm going to bump up Ebron. Hunter Henry's always going to be my lower. Like, I no interest in him. I might put Ingram above Goddard here. I think Mandrews just always has that touchdown upside. It's tough to get off of. But that's like, boom. Oh, I guess that doesn't want to move for me. I like Austin Hooper coming back and being very viable. We mentioned Big Bob Tunyon in an easy matchup. I think Tunyon really comes back and spikes it this week. As I mentioned, I like Gesicki's spot. Normally, I'm a big Jonnu fan. I'd have him in here, but the Colts have been just crazy good against tight ends. Crazy good. Crazy good. Jordan Reed can kiss my fucking ass. I do like Burton. It's looking like Doyle will not be in for Thursday. So Burton and my man Mo Alec Cox. Give me Mo Cox. Getting a little bump up. It's easy to hate Jimmy Graham, but man, he's doing a lot this year. I'll put him in here with the tight. So you got, a wide range of like low end ones. That's what tight end is touchdown or bust. Like that's kind of how I'm sifting through these guys. But streaming wise, Burton, Mo Alley Cox, Logan Thomas, all within the radar here. Alrighty, folks. So that's where I'm going to cut it for tonight. I'll rip through just a couple quick ones for you guys. Tua, Burrow, or Lock this week. Ryan's on bye. I like going Burrow. Lock's got the matchup. And if you're not going to have to keep him for the rest of the season, then give me Lock actually for the matchup. Burrow could have a shootout there too, though. Trying to trade for Swift, believe it or not, willing to give up one or combo of E. Sanders, Reagor. Yeah, definitely. I'd give up a combo of any of those guys. I like Swift a lot. Easy schedule moving forward. Talented. At some point, they should unleash that guy. Myers against Ravens or John Brown or Fulgham at Giants. Like Fulgham there. I do like Fulgham. He's been too good to bench. Henry and Sanders, damn, that's pretty legit. No. Josh Allen for Brady and Scott. Nah, Allen's been too good. Brady has such an easy schedule, so maybe. His playoff schedule is a joke. We already got that one. Sup Wolf asks Cam Gecko, great to see you. Omar, is it safe to drop DJ Dallas? I haven't heard anything Carson yet or Hyde. I haven't heard anything yet either. But I feel like Carson's trending that way. So I think it's pretty safe to drop him, yeah. But do you have anybody else to drop first, I guess is the question. Steven Hernandez, flex AB or Lazard or Carson? Carson for sure if he plays. I'd probably have Lazard higher if he plays than AB. You might just be left with AB, though, as the last one standing. Austin Hooper at tight end, a big fan. Top 10, top number 11, I guess, this week, but very viable as an option. Defense, Giants or Washington. I like Washington, I think, there. Don't love either of those plays. Washington, Steven, I didn't do my defensive rankings. I'll do those later tonight, and I'll let you know. But guys, thank you so much. I know that was a quicker ranking rundown than usual. I would love to stay and answer more questions. And if you have questions, check out Fantasy Typhoon. I'm going to go on his show, Waiver Wire Talk, answering any questions you have, set starts, all that good stuff over there too. So catch me on over there if you'd like to see some waiver talk, guys. But best of luck, Wolfpack. You can find all my stuff at rotostreetjournal.com. We breed and feed fantasy wolves. These rankings will be updated and up. Also on our iOS app. If you haven't downloaded the app, check that out too. It means the world. And you can find me at Roto Street Wolf if you want to ask any of these sit starts. If I wasn't able to get to you guys, my apologies. But Wolfpack, I will be back live for that Strength of Schedule show tomorrow, 7 p.m. Wednesday. That's a can't miss with the trade deadline this weekend. So make sure you check that one out. Find me on the Fantasy Typhoon stream. Otherwise, we will see you tomorrow, Wolfpack. Later, guys.